Dungeon Master TJ Lee here, just jumping in at the beginning of the video to say apologies for the long gap between our upload schedule. The PC that I was using finally kicked the bucket, RIP to a real one, and I had to get a new one. And it took a bit of time to put together and set everything up on, and life stuff got in the way. We're back on a normal schedule now. Things are going up. You can get content early and exclusive over on the Patreon, starting at just $1. But any support you give is always appreciated, which leads me to this video. Because the algorithm is not going to be favoring us for a little while now, and we have such a crazy upload schedule here, it would mean the world to me if everyone hearing this could just like and leave a comment of your favorite moment or your favorite character. That means the world to me, and it pushes us a little bit better in the algorithm and ensures that more people get access to the content. I would love nothing more than to see the Nightmare Detectives get further and further out there. It is my baby. It is the thing I am most proud of that I've made this year, and we have a lot more to come. Regular content is going to be going up as usual. Thank you very much for all your patience and support. We are about to hit 4,000 subscribers. That is absolutely crazy to me. It is not possible without any of you and the support you give us. There are some incredible things on the way. I can't wait to show you for the rest of the year. But for now, we're going to go straight back in to the Nightmare Detectives, Episode 6. Is anyone out there? And I'll see you again when dusk enters the station.
Sometimes in life, people leave. It's a commonality as we grow up. They leave because our paths diverge, our motivations change, they die. Many reasons that people end up going, but they go nevertheless. And part of growth is recognizing that sometimes those bonds can't be repaired. Sometimes you just fall out with someone, or you find that there's a bridge you simply can't cross. And that was what happened one day at the academy with Jericho Branch, Dennis Rowe, and Nishandra. And we don't know at this moment in time what it was, but we know it was strong enough that all three, from that day forward, would walk a different path, as would their fourth unnamed friend, I'm sure. Jericho made a decision that would ultimately lead him down a path that no one else but him could walk. He would cast aside his memories, forsake his foster home, forsake the Order of the Moth, and leave Hotel Inertia in search of something else in Sturgeon that only he could truly know. At this moment in time, we don't fully know what Nishandra and Dennis Rowe would do, although we have hints. Dennis Rowe would ultimately become the head magister for the Order of the Moth, sitting at the top of the Council of 12. Nishandra would maintain her watch on the 13 Sentinels, eventually becoming the captain. Both of them held out some hope that one day Jericho would return. And return he did. But some scars are very hard to heal, and some pain is simply too much. But I believe that in some specific cases, love can win out. It is up to the individual to take that initiative. And we rejoin the scene where Jericho Branch is standing outside as Nishandra leans against a great oak tree where the Hotel Inertia elevator doors are situated, pushing the button as the doors close and the hotel elevator disappears. And she looks at you, Jericho, and she is a mixture of a few different emotions, conflicting emotions, but her steely gaze meets yours. She says, "I think we should talk." And I'm hoping that you caught all of that, because I cannot do that a third time.
We did.
Okay.
Yes, we did.
Okay, we now know the streaming is the problem. Okay, yeah, so she says, Jericho, we should talk.
Oh, what? Just you and me, or are we going to invite the other 12 along as well?
I think the other 12 don't need to be a part of this conversation.
Well, then that actually sounds kind of lovely. And I'll approach her.
Mm-hmm. Now, one thing we said at the end of the last session was that Jimmy said he would follow you out. So, Jimmy, are you still next to Jericho at this moment? Is anyone else? So, obviously, Dahlia has been chilling.
I'm going with Jericho because this is sketchy as hell.
Okay. Well, that's Jericho's got to decide if he wants you there. Or you guys can have that conversation. It's not up to me to decide that.
Well,
They can be there for the time being. Right now, I suppose it's not a. As long as it's a weird talking situation.
and I also think as they would have come out and we would have looked over, and I would have recognized Cassandra, right, from when me and Callista fought with her on the 13th floor.
Yeah, she looks at you and gives a little wry smile.
Yeah, I would have stepped in front of Jericho at that point.
Okay.
Can I roll for telepathy and read a bad situation?
I mean, yeah. It could go badly. I mean, she is asking to have a private conversation with Jericho, and it seems like, you know, like they're steez. But yeah, of course she can. Yeah, go for it.
Okay, what do I roll for that one, Ari?
That's okay. So on your let me get up your character sheet.
Because my thing doesn't have like a little clicky thing.
I got you. So when you are doing telepathy, you are rolling. You are strap rolling. Read a bad situation. I just want to read your characters. Even I need to remind myself as I'm going through these. So telepathy, you can read people's thoughts or put words in their minds. This can allow you to investigate a mystery and read a bad situation without actually needing to talk. So yeah, you literally just roll read a bad situation. Okay. On an 8 for a read a bad situation, you can ask me one question from that list.
1 second, sorry.
Mm-hmm. Would you like me to read you the questions?
No, I see them. Are there any dangers that we haven't noticed?
No. Aside from the obvious of she's still a danger, like, you know, from the obvious battle you've had, but that is not something you wouldn't have noticed. There's nothing else around you. There's no secret subterfuge, no.
Alright.
Do you want to communicate that to the others?
Yeah, hey, guys. It's not dangerous. Well, super dangerous.
She looks at you and kind of cocks her head to the side and is like, "Oh, you're a mind reader. Huh. Well, no. It's just me. And I think the stout, sturdy guy next to you standing in front of Jericho could tell you, if I wanna, I could. But that's not why I'm here."
Jimmy will look back at Jericho and be like, "Are you sure about this?"
If she wanted to, she could have.
Oh, I could. I really could.
Well, I know she could, but are you sure you want to be alone with her?
As always, I appreciate your help, big man, but I get the feeling I'll be fine this time.
Alright. Jimmy will back away, but not go back inside yet.
Okay.
Kind of like over by the door.
Mhm.
Wait.
You want to be in earshot, basically, or like eye shot, I should say.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, give them enough space where they can have a private conversation, but if, Jericho would need help, Jimmy could be there.
Okay. New song in the vibes because we're changing the tone a little bit here. Okay. So Jericho, do you walk along with her?
I'll begin walking along. I will definitely begin walking along with her, and I'll tell the group that I won't be long.
Yeah. You guys can stay in like within eye range, if you will. Like maybe there's a little like tree stump nearby where you guys can sit next to each other, opposite each other. And she, I need to change her voice because I realize she's American. And she looks at you and says, well, how goes the search?
So far, we're 3 for 5. Haven't left the floor without a memory yet, and we're all alive, I think.
Yeah, you're one down, but, well, you don't seem too sad about it, so I'm guessing you have a plan.
Get something. Plus, the little redhead's pretty tough. She can handle herself.
Yeah, I got that impression. You're 3 down, huh? So you're starting to remember.
Some things. I'm making connections now as well. Like, you and Knowledge are co-workers now. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, not, co-workers is the word. Not a friend. Not someone I like. In fact, different division. I'm 13th Sentinels. He's works with Dennis, I pass by him sometimes, but we don't really interact. But yeah, we got to play nice.
Gotcha. I understand that. Business is business. Good for you, though. 13 Sentinels.
Yeah, well, when you left, someone had to become captain, and who else is it going to be? Jericho, this is the last time you and I are going to see each other like this. And I think you know that. So if you want to get anything out on the table, now is the time. Because the next time we see each other, I don't think I'm going to be alone. And I will have to bring you to that table alive or dead. And if you resist... Look, I don't want to kill you. But it's not that simple.
Yeah, I get that it's not that simple. Yeah, kind of tried to kill 2 of my friends already, so I definitely understand that. How much time do we have? How many questions do I get? Does that count as one of my questions?
No. I'd say 3. But I get to ask 3 in return. Is that fair?
It's even shake, I'd say. All
right, so you got 3 questions. You do have to roll for these.
Okay.
You'll still
Can I
get
roll before
info,
or
but
after?
yeah. No, ask the question, then roll.
Okay.
And she will also roll to keep it fair.
It's the most recent thing in my mind after some latest developments, but what is the council doing in the hotel? The experiments. What's the biggest? What's their end game with that?
Okay, good. Really good question. Okay. Yeah, give me a roll, homie.
What role would I be rolling?
Manipulate someone.
Or...
Yeah, no, it's manipulate someone. You can have a +1 because she is inviting these questions. So I think it's only fair to give you the advantage. But I am gonna say I decided, by the way, it's a sidebar. There are gonna be situations where I will not let you use luck. Just because it would game the system. This is one of them.
Well,
Okay. No, that's okay. Okay, so you got a 6. So she smiles and says, "Look, I can't give you the top secret information. They're always listening, and we're in the broadcast hub, for Christ's sake. How about this? I will tell you their mission statement. I don't need to give you this information. I'm choosing to. They want to expand the Sentinel Division. They want to take more people from Sturgeon. A lot more. I don't know what they want to do with them. And what I think they want to do with them is not something I am at all comfortable with. Jericho, the Sentinels, they have a half-life. You know this. I have a half-life. And I would never wish that on anybody, but worse still is what they do at the Order. They'll strip those kids' mental states away, their spirits away, until nothing is left but a husk. And if they survive, they can end up like Nautilus. That's all I know.
Yellow teeth.
Yeah. If that were the worst of it, but he's British as well. I mean, Jesus. How much worse can it get? Jericho, why did you come back? Aside from the fact you were summoned, you could have just said no. You could have fought back a lot harder than you did. Why have you stayed? And before you answer, to keep it fair, Nishandra will roll. Give her the 1, so it's charm. Okay, you can answer somewhat truthfully, or you can go fully truthfully if she does something for you. So you basically get to counter here.
Why did I agree to stay? For the last little while now, there's been some kind of pulling force around me, directing me back towards either this place or Dennis or just my past in general. I think that I agreed to stay mostly because I'm tired of not knowing why I didn't want to know. I think this might be a part of my life that I am either wanting to move past or just need to finally face. I wish I could give more of a upfront explanation. But until I know everything, then to know why I don't know everything. That's the best of an answer I can give you.
It's an answer. I appreciate it. Okay, second question. Go ahead.
Dennis, where is he?
Simple and effective. Okay, yeah. Give me a roll. Okay. You have to promise me that you're not gonna just kill him when you see him first. I need your word.
You have my word. I don't know what was in the past, but these days I'll make it too much of a habit of just shooting someone as soon as I know who they are.
I'm just saying, when you find out, when you learn the truth, you're not gonna be thinking diplomacy. And she holds out her hand, Jericho, and it's glowing. And she says, I don't just need your word. I need your bond. Now, this is a spirit bond. When you form one of these, and spellslingers can form these with anybody, so this is something you might want to keep in mind. When you form this, you are linked to that person. If you break that bond, they die and you die. You both go. It's like a dead man's switch.
Looking at the glow, before I click her hand, I want to know. So what's the deal with the terms?
The term is that you do not kill him when you learn the truth, and if you have to kill him, you wait until you have a clear head. If you learn that truth and you go in there without asking, doing that remarkable thing you do with your mind, with charm and figuring things out with your friends, if you kill him in cold blood without learning the truth, the bond is broken. Jericho, you're speaking for your entire team right now, not just you. If the big guy smashes his skull in, if the glasses guy sets him on fire, if the small one blasts a hole in his face, if the forlorn tall one chops him into pieces, if the redheaded one makes it back and drives a stake through his skull, you are still responsible. It can't end like this.
Okay, so mentally already, I already agreed it won't kill Nihilus already, so I think I can get Chewy to agree to that. Alright, okay, okay. I think I can do that. I think I can do that.
Okay.
Put her there.
All right, and y'all form a bond, so make a note. And I will say the rest of the party does not hear this. Even if you all know it, the group doesn't know this. Although this does proportionally more affect Jericho's well-being than anyone else. I don't think anyone else is going to go running in to kill Dennis. But okay, so you grab each other's forearms, and you form that link. And your arms burn for a minute, before the light fades and the bond is made. And she says, "Well, Dennis is presiding over your case. He is in the high tower, usually, studying, preparing. There's a spell that the Inner Sanctum's been working on. I'm sure he'll tell you about it, but that's where you'll find him most days, but you can't get there right now. The rooftop is where you'll find him. When your trial starts, he's one of the people presiding over it. He's not running from you, Jericho. He wants to see you."
Oh, trust me, I've understood that from way before I stepped into this hotel.
What do you mean?
Back at Man's Bay, he was the only figure I could make out that was watching us. Before that, it was a memory or maybe something planted by him that helped me, gave me the edge when we were confronted by the Wendigos when we had our first little test.
She kind of stares at you for a minute, like her mouth dropped open, and then she kind of recomposes and says, "All right, that's another time. I don't have 3 questions, Jericho, so how about you ask yours and I'll ask you my last one. I only have one more."
All right, fair enough. Guessing you know what happened in town, so I'm gonna breeze past that.
I do. And it's unfortunate.
The pursuer. You know where it is, and is the girl it took okay?
Okay, give me your roll. Okay.
Dude.
Yeah, a 4. She sighs and says, I mean, I told you that I was surprised when I saw the redheaded one gone. That's because I don't know where she is. I know you shouldn't have made a deal with the pursuer, but that's your cross to bear. She stands up, and you can see she's tearing up. She says, "This is the hardest question I've ever had to ask, Jericho.
Ask away, Captain.
If you find me before I find you, will you put my body out of its misery?"
Is that what you want? Are you asking me or telling me?
I'm pleading. I can't really say why right now, but you'll understand. I can't leave the 13 Sentinels. No one leaves except you. But I want an end to this. And if we meet, yeah, I'm going to come after you because that's what I've been commanded to do, and I am bound by that. But if you find me first, if you find my sleeping body, don't hesitate. Promise me. And you don't have to be clear. You don't have to.
After a brief moment of kind of silently thinking about it, I'll do my best for you, Nish. I promise.
All right. Well, you better get your weapons ready. You know how this is gonna go. Tell your big friend over there he's not to pull his punches next time.
Well, we've been watching us. I think the bigger issue is his mouth. I mean, kinda
Well,
means well.
there won't be any talking when we
Says the
see each
wrong
other.
things.
We won't be talking when we see each other, so we can cross that one off. She gets up and walks, if it's off into the clearing, and says, you know, it really is gonna hurt when you find out what they did. And the part I played in it. And I really am sorry, Jericho. I want you to know that. Because when you find out, everything's gonna change. And she doesn't wait for you to reply. She shrugs her shoulders and she walks off. And she leaves you there.
Jericho will start making his way back to the group and kind of silently utter to themselves. And if you came here just to apologize, why you come here,
Okay. New music shift. So
That video's not available in my country.
wait, the liminal space one? The one I just put in? Also, you are echoing. Who is echoing?
For me, that's weird.
Okay. That is strange.
Yeah,
Okay.
I can see it.
Huh.
Alright, I'll just keep listening to the Final Fantasy. I don't care.
Okay. It's all good. To try this one, Peach. They're all pretty similar, and I'm going to be switching between them. Try that one. Does that one work?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So, do you tell the gang what you discussed, Jericho?
Yeah. After each the parts, and I make my way back to the group, I tell them in basically in broad what we discussed.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
And do any of you react to that? Do any of you say anything? Definitely don't
Sucks
have
having
to.
to kill people you love.
Didn't promise her I'd kill her. Promise her I'd do my best.
Hmm. Alright. Burn pokes his head around and is like, are you lot ready? Because when we go down there, it's going to be a problem.
I don't think there's anything left for us out here.
No, I suppose not.
I think I'm ready to go downstairs as well.
I'm ready.
Downstairs, underground, wherever we're going.
Okay. Yeah. So, you will make your way downstairs. And you are confronted by this huge tunnel. Which I'm going to pop in here. And we're going to switch to Amy in a minute when she comes back. But, so you guys see this as you come down there. It is an endless sea of, like, machinery and dials, and there's messages. Each one is labeled, and a lot of the names you don't really recognize, understand, but like some of them will say like peer-to-peer, 1974 spring, final message, General Gerhardt to Mrs. Gerhardt, memorial message from the War of 1860, and it just goes on and on and on. And Byrne is a couple steps in front of you, and he says, like I said, every message that could possibly be conveyed is down here. If you ever had a loved one who left you a message on a phone that you can't access anymore, or a letter, or even a thought that never reached you. It's here. If... I shouldn't say this, but once we got it back up, if you need to do any searching for yourselves, I'll give you the time. He kind of just carries on walking down. Look, excuse me, wrong accent. Look, I normally wouldn't say this, but you're helping me out. Once we get the backup started, there'll be a bit of time if you want to go and check for a message for yourselves. But, it can take a while, and it can be tough. So, just be aware of that. So keep that in mind, if anyone does want to go looking. And he leads you down the hallway, towards, a central, like, room. You can see there's many different, like, tunnels and diverging areas. Like, this is very labyrinthian, in the sense that it's obvious that this kind of has no end in sight if you were to really kind of explore. And before you say it, Callista, no, you cannot fly through here. This is not a flyable area.
I wasn't gonna. I can't fly anywhere I haven't been to.
But he leads you down, and there are central chambers, and they are marked above. And he's leading you to the one that says Backup Hub, which I'm going to get a picture up now. But there are other ones that say Memory Hub, and they're numbered 1, 2, and 3. So there is at least some direction to the other sort of areas with computers where you can access some things. But for the time being, you are coming into this room, just here. And I will show you all what it looks like. There we go. He starts typing away, and he looks to Flebs and says, "Well, I'm hoping that those glasses aren't just for show, and that you actually have some cleverness there, because I need some extra pair of hands here, lad."
Sure, how can I help?
I need you to take that left-wing monitor there, and I need you to start entering code as I dictated to you.
Okay.
You're going to need to roll a shot for this, Flebs.
Okay.
It's going to be incredible if you get a fail. Oh, woo! All right, okay.
Nice.
Flebs, as you're doing this, you just kind of do the whole... I apologize if this makes anyone cringe, but you do the... And then you just, that was my actual knuckles. And you stretching like, all right. And you just do the whole hacker voice I'm in. And it's insane to watch, Flebs. But on a 13, you are every hacker's dream, just kind of going crazy with this. He doesn't even have to dictate it to you. You just seem to know it. Like the code is you and you are the code. And he looks bewildered and then looks to the rest of you and says, right, well, I think we'll be done with this pretty quickly. Do any of you want to go check for some memories? For some messages, I mean.
Yeah, I think y'all look around a little bit.
I'd like to look around.
Okay. Chewy?
Jimmy will just follow the group.
Okay. Callista.
As they're moving.
Callista seems kind of conflicted, but I think they're going to look, yeah.
Ooh, okay. I get to break 4 hearts today. Okay.
I'm so scared.
This is going to be a little bit... okay, this is how we're going to do this. So, you're all going off, yeah? You're all going to get... you're all going to get 1 roll to find it, and then you'll get another roll to see how much of the message you get to hear. So I am going to hurt you, because if it's a powerful message and you don't roll strong enough, you're not going to get everything. But obviously, if you get a low roll, you don't get any message, so... Yes.
Just to clarify, Jimmy's not looking for a message or anything.
Okay. In that case, because there's 3 routes and 3 characters, do you want to stay behind and chill with Flebs and recover? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay. So, Jimmy's gonna kind of play bodyguard, and the 3 of you start walking. And And I would say it's a fair assessment that you'll look at 3 routes and you'll agree to take each one individually. Let's start with Dahlia. Sweet Dahlia. You walk down for a while, and I'd like you to roll a sharp roll, please. Oh, don't worry. I am not going to penalize you too hard because you've had a lot of fails, and Dahlia needs to have some progression. So mark experience. You trip and fall face first and just smack your nose against the ground, and you hear a little crunch. And you think you might have broken your nose. But Dahlia is a tough cookie. And I feel like would persevere nonetheless, right? No one saw that, so, you know, no one's there to kind of laugh about it. It just kind of happens. So, you get a little bit further down, and eventually you come to your own hub room. And this one is a little bit different. I'm going to get the image up now for you. Oh, no, not that one. Now, Dahlia, what voice message would you be looking for? Would you be looking for a last sort of memory, like a communication from someone who's about to die, an actual message, a voice message? What is it you're looking for, and from who?
I'm gonna say something from Dahlia's parents.
Okay. Would you think it's like a scroll, or what do you think it'd be?
You know, since she has all the fancy mind shit, we'll have it be like a memory of some sort.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, so you go to the, I mean, you can use, because of your class, if you want to use telepathy, is it telepathy? No, hold on. Let me get your, you've got a move that is good for assistance. So if you want to use, oh yeah, it's the site for Investigate a Mystery. If you want to do that first before I give you your other role, I'll let you do that. Okay.
Leveled up.
Alright, you leveled up at least. Alright, so the site is not working here. You're not sure why. It could be that it's the bunker, it could be that you're emotionally a little bit vulnerable, but it's just simply not working, and we don't really know why. It's unusual. So I'm gonna just make sure you're not because have you rolled a good? Oh, you have had a good roll. Okay, no, I was pretty sure you weren't bugged. Yeah, you had an 8 earlier. Okay, so
I've had 1.
yeah. Okay, so Dahlia, I need you to make a weird roll for me.
1 second, I'm doing the level up.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna do the whole-
Oh yeah.
Okay, let me.
Do you want to take a stat boost, or do you want what are you thinking?
I took a +1 on weird.
Okay, perfect. Well, that's gonna help you because you're gonna make a weird roll.
Yes, I am.
Ooh. Okay. Yeah, Dahlia, you know sort of how to manipulate these machines, and you start looking for information on your parents. What were their names? Do you know?
I'm gonna say no. I was very young.
Okay. You put in your last name. Did we give that Dahlia a last name?
Just Rose.
Okay. So you put in Rose, maybe some like other keywords, and then you put in the year and the rough location. And I hope you don't mind, but I'm going to have to name the parents here. Which are Marigold and Lucius. And sure enough, you find what you're looking for, and it has a few messages. And they've got a little like timestamp, like when you're looking at audio files. But the one that you look for is the one that's marked Final Memory. And I assume you hit play.
Yeah, I'm gonna hit play.
Okay. Dahlia, when you hit play, the screen sort of it expands out, and you are back in the house that you grew up in. You have a third-person view of a very young, possibly 2-3-year-old Dahlia, clutching a stuffy and hiding under a blanket, sequestered away in a corner. And you see that scene again, where your mother and father are arguing over something, and there's someone at the door. And first they knock, then they bash, and then they start slamming. And when the door opens, you see something you've never seen before. It is 3 individuals with tall Denton hats. And if you don't know what a Denton hat is, it is an old farmer's style hat. A thick brim that stretches out, and it's tall. And they have sacks over their faces, with crosses over the eyes. And they say, "We have come to collect." And your father, Lucius, says that this wasn't part of the deal, that they had more time, that they agreed on something different, and in an instant, the one on the right puts his hand up, and Lucius's body goes limp, and his skin grows pale, and he is led outside as your mother's crying and begging for them to reconsider. And the lead one, again, shakes his head and says, "You knew what you were getting into when you took her. This is the deal, and the deal cannot be changed. These are the terms of the farmers." And the one on the left walks over to you, and there's a bright light from your mother and a scream, and the memory ends. And how does Dahlia respond to that?
I'm gonna say Dahlia just kind of blankly stares. Her eyes clearly watering, but her being the way, Dahlia is, doesn't let an actual tear drop. But she's definitely bothered.
I think that's reasonable. Okay.
And like shaking, but with anger.
Yeah. So what you experienced there was a bit of an understanding about another faction, which you can make a note of, and they are called the Sturgeon Farmers Collective. And I'm sure we will visit them soon. Okay. Let's go to Callista. So, Callista, I think I know... Well, actually, I sort of know what you're going to do, but you also might surprise me. So, you are taking your own walk. So, I need you to give me a sharp roll first.
Sorry, one second.
That's okay. Enjoying them leftovers a bit too much. Okay.
No, I'm taking notes.
Okay. Callista, you actually come to a fork in the road. I'm gonna hurt you a little bit here, Callista. You've been following a little thread for a while, so the way that this place works is a little bit telepathic in the sense that you're able to find and lock onto a particular sort of thread of your own narrative or the people around you, and it will guide you there, which I realize is hokey, but it's way easier than explaining you walking around aimlessly for 3 hours following a bunch of cables. Yeah. And you come to a little fork in the road, and you only have time for one. And one of them says, "Ancient Scrolls from the Horizon Steppe," and the other one says, "Connected Memories and Last Messages from Modern Times." Modern times being the last 2,000 years. You can only choose one. I think I know where you. I think I know where you're gonna go, but we'll see.
Yeah. Yeah. I think she's probably gonna go down the connected memories one.
Damn, that's okay. I thought you'd go. Okay. No, you know what? I respect it.
I have something specific in mind, but I'm not even sure if I'm gonna be able
That's fine.
to do it.
Well, hey, I like hearing that. I enjoy hearing that. Okay, so you start walking down there, and hey, Chewy, I need you to roll for me real quick. Can you roll? Yeah, I think it'd be. Let me see what I need. Hang on, let me just check. Make sure I'm not asking you to roll the wrong thing here. Jimmy, could you please roll for me a, no, it wouldn't be that, would it? Okay, yeah. Can you roll an act under pressure, please?
Yes, sir.
I'm trying to work in very specific parameters, so I've got to be careful.
Jeez.
Oh, you're fine. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
You think you hear something, but your tummy's just rumbling, and you realize you're hungry. Cool. Thank you for that.
So ominous.
Thank you for that. Okay, Callista, you end up in this little ditty of a room, and what are you looking for?
Okay. I'm not sure if this is gonna be allowed, because the thing is, it's not just memories, right? It's like anything that.
Okay, so these rooms, Dahlia wanted a memory. So Dahlia did not want a message. They wanted a memory, and the memory that was obvious story-wise was that first memory, because that's why wouldn't you start there? But if you want a message, then you can look at that, and it's like, okay, well, it's like a drop-down menu. What kind of message do you want? Do you want a do you just want a simple phone call, a text, a letter, a scroll? Because again, it's down to where you are in human history as well, but also. Yep. You can get what's called an afterlife message. The last thing that someone wanted to communicate before they died. If there was anything unsaid, which is very common in certain afterlife beliefs of, unfinished business, if you will. But yeah, I will say, before you say anything, just to give you some sort of leeway here, Paola would not have anything left to say to you because you two pretty much said everything you need to say while you're alive.
Yes.
So, to save you some time, that's not how I was going to hurt you. But, she wouldn't have anything for you, I don't think. At least at this moment in time, if there was a message, I don't think now would be the time that she would provide it to you. And with Lady Death, that's kind of a moot point, right?
Right.
But,
no,
tell me what you're thinking. Tell me what you're thinking.
So... the only problem is that this is a character I haven't really talked too much about with you yet.
That's fine. It's fine. That's okay. I didn't talk to Dahlia much about the mom or dad. We just, had a bit of an understanding. Don't worry. Go for it.
But in the last battle that Callista was in, like heavenly battle, before she was doing all her stuff on Earth and everything. Mm-hmm. With Paola, she lost her second in command. And I think that's gonna be who she's searching for, especially the afterlife one, because she, considering, she was in heaven, but that's, I'm assuming, not where angels go when they die.
Nope.
So, she never got the chance to, figure that out even before she was banished. So she wants to see if there's any messages from him.
Okay, do you have his name, or did you want me to give him a name?
I don't have a name in mind yet. No.
So he will be Zerachiel.
Okay.
Which might be pronounced Zerachiel, but I don't know actually, could be. But that's the name there.
Okay.
So Zerachiel was a seraphim, and a seraphim is one of the highest orders. In fact, he's your second in command. Excuse me. So how high did Callista rank in the command structure? Because I know that unfortunately, being raised Catholic, I do know the command structure for angels. So obviously, For those who don't know, I'll just run through this really quickly. The lowest orders was angels, archangels, and principalities. Then it went to the middle orders, powers, virtues, and dominions. And the highest orders, thrones, cherubim, and seraphim. So where would Callista have ranked?
I don't know. She was a really, she led a lot of armies in heaven. So I imagine she was pretty high, but probably also not the highest up there.
I feel like she would have either been a dominion or a throne. So either upper middle or low high. It's kind of how I look at her.
Yeah, upper middle seems about right.
Yeah. Well, the angels were the messengers, so it really does depend on how you want to look at that. To me, a dominion would have been, because Raphael was an archangel who fought, so and Michael was within the dominions.
Right.
So I'm thinking about how. Okay, no, you know what? No, she would because of the way I'm looking at it with the powers and authorities, they were the ones who fought evil. So, nah, she would be a power.
Okay.
And that would make the one below her a principality.
Okay.
So, principality Zerachiel, and you would have been power Callista. Okay. And do you know what happened to Zerachiel? How they died?
Yes. Because she was there.
Okay.
And it was again one of the last battles that she fought in, and it wasn't necessarily against Lucifer per se, but it was because that was a while ago, but it was against one of his armies that they were fighting against, and it was a particularly nasty battle. Because they had taken their squadron by surprise. And so they were each fighting separately, and Callista and her second in command, they were pretty used to fighting together and splitting up and coming back and working together, and they didn't really have to communicate it much because they've been working together for a long time. But at some point, Callista realized that he wasn't coming back the way that he was supposed to. And so she kind of stepped away from their plan and went further into the battle to look for him. And she saw one of the higher ranking minions of Lucifer's side. She basically watched him kill him. But it was particularly hard for her because the demon who killed him was one of the demons that she was having a lot of trouble getting pinned down.
Yeah.
And so she basically froze in the battle. And she, that sight kind of made her let her guard down, and she got really injured in the battle, and that's kind of why she had to go take solace on Earth for a little bit, because she was really injured, and she's not a healer angel, so she couldn't really heal herself.
I got you.
And that's why she was kind of taking refuge on Earth for that first time.
Okay. All right. I'm not going to speed through this because we've got 15 minutes now. I've got 2 more scenes. So what I want you to do is I want you to give me a weird roll, and I really do hope you get a decent roll. But I know how this plays out.
Me too, after all.
Oh boy, if you fail, I'm just going to hurt you so bad. Oh, 11.
Nice.
Okay, so these are
Nice.
folks, these are the 2 songs we're going to be using. And you're going to want them for this. Okay. Yeah, Callista, so you're looking for a message that Zerachiel would have left you, right?
Yes.
Oh, he left
or
you one.
what he was, yeah.
Oh, no, he left you one.
Okay.
You search his name, and you see a sea of dead angels. So many. So many, and so many unread messages. Because it was a war. And war takes lives, and it doesn't give anything back but misery. And when you push play, you're bathed in a really beautiful light, and it's an arc because this memory is a living memory. Zerachiel comes down in front of you. His wings are scorched. One of his eyes has been sealed shut, and he is breathing heavily. And you can tell that he is in the middle of battle. And he's taken a knee, and he looks at you. And I think you expect him to be angry. I really think in that moment you are expecting him to forsake you. And it hurts more because he smiles. And he says, "Hello, Callie. I suppose you aren't able to make it. I'm sure you have your reasons. I wish I could come and talk to you about them, but the funny thing about war is we're told about these good and evil binaries, but the guy I'm fighting, Amon, the Grand Marquis of Hell, he's letting me talk to you before I go. He doesn't need to do that." And he coughs, and he is pretty badly wounded. And he says, "You know, I didn't want to go here. I don't think any of us did. But I didn't have much of a choice. Because when your name is called, you serve the Lord, you go and do your job. And I know you're going to beat yourself up for this for a long, long time, Callie. And I know that telling you not to is pointless. But there's one thing you have to do above all else for me, and you need to swear on whatever faith you have left in this world that you'll do it." And he smiles and says, "Love and be loved. And don't you dare forget how that makes you feel. That hurt that you're going to feel when you see this, when you hear the news, is going to last a long time, and you're going to feel very scared and very lonely, and you're going to feel angry. It's normal. Because you're going to be part of them, part of their culture. And it's a beautiful thing, Callie, but it's fleeting. And it's important." And he stands up, and takes his weapon in both hands and says, "Because when you say goodbye to something, it means it was worth saying goodbye to. Go with God, sister." And he turns around, and you know what happens next. And the memory ends.
And Callista's watching as she watches him kind of turn and go and disappear. Her eyes are filled with tears. And she says, "Go with God, brother."
Okay. Fun. Flebs, before this next little scene plays out, did you want to look for a message from anybody, or are you good? Because you're still helping out Burn at the moment.
I'm good.
You're happy to skip that. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Could you also act under pressure then, please?
Okay.
Okay. All right, bud. I promise you, for once, when I offer you this, I'm not gonna hurt you or Julia in this offer. I promise. But
Okay.
still, because you got a 9, I need to know which you would prefer: a worse outcome, a hard choice, or a price to pay in return for the information I'm going to give you, or would you rather forego it and not know anything?
Price to pay.
Okay. The price to pay, I'm trying to think how narratively we'd do this. Yeah, okay. The price to pay here is that when you learn what's about to happen, you are not able to access the compendium for what comes next. So you will have no way of using I've read about this sort of thing for the next battle.
Damn. Okay.
Okay.
Hard mode.
Okay. So we will do this bit in 2 parts because we're going to go to Jericho and then we're going to come back to you. So I'm going to say that while this is going on, like Dahlia is probably coming back in, and Callista won't be far behind, both of which are probably not very social right now.
Nope.
You see an alert come up on the computer, and you notice that it's an email. And it's an email saying files have been received. Transfer will be completed in 2 minutes. Vacate the building as soon as you are done, and do not let them know where this is going. And you look at the recipient's name, and we're gonna pause it there because it's like a slow reveal, and we'll go to Jericho. Mr. Branch, could I please get a sharp roll? And if you are playing with the music, I would probably wait to play that second track. Ooh, okay.
All right.
Well, Mr. Branch, you are very lucky, because you're going to have time to collect your memory from this place and also check the memory that you want. So, for this to work inside of the 10 minutes we've got, what we're going to do is it's all housed in one room. So I'm just going to load that up. I think I've got one more of these to show anyway, I think. So you walk into this similar facility to what the others have done. I do have one more, lovely. And it's got a few monitors, a keyboard. Actually, it's got like 3 keyboards. It's a little bit excessive, actually. And you see a flash drive. And it's essentially it's like calling to you. Like, you have that sense that there's magic in it. And you can pocket it, but if you want to just open it on the computer, that's fine too. But you have a sense that might be where your memory is. But on a sharp roll, you can also search for something else if you want to.
Could I view the memory and then search for something else, or
no,
or I just have to make
the memory will probably be the last scene of the session.
Okay.
And I just want to make sure that we finish on time for your sake. But if you want to search something first, that's absolutely fine. What I'm going to say is that memory, because of that 10 sharp roll, that's locked in. If you want to search something else, I'll make you do a weird roll, and you might be able to get something.
I'll do the weird roll.
Okay.
For a little piece of extra.
Yeah, give me a weird roll. Okay. On an 8, you get a few hits because you search under your name. You get enrollment day. You get hangouts with Dennis and Nishandra, and like it basically just says and friends. And you get one called the test. And you have time to look at one of them.
The test.
Okay. You hit play, and you find that you are stood like a third-person perspective, looking at your younger version of about, I'd say you're probably about 18, and you are stood on a platform. And it's raised above, and you can't see the bottom, and Dennis, Nishandra, and Nautilus are on other platforms, and a voice above bellows at you to strike, and you say no. And when you say no, Nautilus hits you with a spell that starts to make your fingers rot away with gangrene on your left hand, and you scream, and the voice above again says, "Do it," and you say no. And someone unseen pushes or wills Dennis against his will to cast a spell on you. And this goes on until all three of them are torturing you. And in that moment, your eyes grow bright, and the air around you crackles, and you fire a bolt that strikes all three of them and knocks them off the plinth. And this unseen voice claps and laughs and says, "Marvelous, Jericho. We will find good use for you yet." And the memory ends. So, before you play that last memory, Flebs, you take one look at Burn when you see the recipient, and you back away from the controls, because you've seen that the recipient of that email is the concierge.
Oh.
Do you say anything like to Burn, who's still working away?
I don't feel like I know Burn well enough, Bernie, to talk about that with him. So no, I won't say anything.
Okay. That's fine. So you back away, and I'm guessing you just kind of let him do his thing. So Jericho, you put that file in, you click play, and the memory starts. And oh boy, Jericho, if there was ever a time to hurt you, it is now. So, Jericho, what was one of the charges that was levied against you by the council?
Necromancy.
Necromancy. What do you think Jericho Branch did before all of this to warrant that most heinous and most sacrilegious of charges under the Spellslinger's Code?
Did he try to bring his parents back to life?
One night, when you were feeling very lonely, soon after that test, you were told that you were going to be the head of the 13 Sentinels, which meant that your body would be bound to the Hotel Inertia, and you would only leave for Sturgeon when they deemed it so. You were a vessel. You no longer had agency. And you decided to break a rule, and that was to sneak out, navigate down to the archives to meet Endicott, which you had done so many times before, and plan a way out. And on this one occasion you did. Because through the archives you found that tunnel, and you also found information on your parents. You found that they were buried in St. Martin's Land, which is a place for those who have been slain through unconventional means to be buried and not arouse suspicion. You went there, foci in hand, with the full intention of raising your mother and father from the dead. And with sadness and horror, you watch as a young Jericho Branch, assisted by Nishandra and Dennis, dig up your parents and try to reanimate them. But you're caught in the middle of it by the then Magister of the Order of the Moth. And it turns out that Nish and Dennis had told them what you were doing and had intimated that your parents had latent abilities as well. And the last thing you see in this memory, as you are screaming and full of rage before Nardless knocks you out, before you can hit your powers, is the Order of the Moth's elite squad taking your parents away to try and reanimate them within their chambers. Jericho, you unwillingly, through love, sentence your parents to an unholy kind of hell. And as the memory fades and sticks with you, I think that breaks you.